Hello and welcome along to the Where's My Kit Bag podcast. We're back after half term with your three lovely media technicians of the Sixth Form College Farnborough. It's myself, James.
Me, Will.
And I'm Steve.
How are we, people?
Very, very well.
Good. The sun's shining.
The
Not
sun
a cloud
is
in the
shining.
sky.
The weather
It was
is
snowing this
really
morning.
It was.
It was.
What is up with the weather? I don't understand. Did you have a productive half term? You three, you two, us three? Yes.
Yeah, and worked for a bit. Had a nice little break at the end of the week. Lovely. Everybody can do with a little break now and then.
Yeah.
Recharge, get the batteries topped up.
Sadly, I was plagued with a little bit of illness, but not a bad thing. You don't even have to play the bad music. Reason being, I actually don't mind.
have to play the bad music.
I don't mind being ill when, like, I'm essentially not obliged to be anywhere. I feel like it's just a lot less pressure. You don't feel like you're letting anybody down. So it wasn't exactly a negative. Got the bug, got it out of my system, and didn't lose any. I didn't let anybody down by not being at work. So all good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I also was ill, so I just watched loads of films. So that's why, for once, my film section is utterly humongous.
You have
It's
to like
two lines.
You have to quick fire through them.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. There's one we all watched together, so we can all talk about that one. But yeah, I've watched a lot, so I'm gonna have to do like quick little minute summaries for everything. But yeah, Steve,
Hello.
shall we move on to some department news?
Yes.
Steve Care with the department news. Steve.
I did say you're never going to get that anchor voice again.
Damn it! Oh, one day
it-
you'll do it, and it'll be
Once was-
glorious.
I think we need to,
It needs the sheets of paper and everything.
So is it a next season you want a new music?
I think
Is that
so.
what it is?
I think we want to. It's not a de-evolution, would it be, of the music?
No, it's a progression.
I guess it just evolves into something a bit more calm. I think it's.
Oh, you want something more chilled?
Yeah, this is pretty
Yeah.
aggressive.
Do you want
to
some
be
like
fair.
lo-fi hip-hop beats to relax/study to?
Ooh.
Maybe
I
that
mean,
did break a world record as a side note. No, maybe it was just like you could hear some papers rustling, and that just gets intensely out of hand as more papers begin to rustle.
Like you're on a time limit
Yeah.
until you get overtaken by the papers.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that video. Slight side note of these high school kids in America where they throw all their their midterm papers down like this set of stairs, and it just gets completely out of hand because a couple of bits of paper go down there, and then literally thousands upon thousands of sheets of paper just come crashing
So
down.
does everyone just join in?
Yeah,
Oh, right.
it's actually quite incredible. But yeah, bit of a weird segue there. Let's talk about the newsletter. The newsletter actually features what we're going to talk about later, so I'm not going to drop that. Though it is a weird fact, my highest res header ever at 6,000 by 6,000 pixels, which is pretty big.
Oh,
I think
that's
that's pretty much a
quite
raw
lot of
image.
pixels.
It's a big boy.
Which did mean that it did pretty much hit the cap of what I can send as an email. It was kind of annoying, but it looked good. It looked really clean. One of the first was blue, which is quite a hint. Newsletters we've had in a while, I think ever, in regards to my new colour palette. It was quite funny actually. We were head onto the archive and click one of last year's
Oh yeah.
newsletters. It's quite a change. It is quite a change.
I keep saying this every week, Steve. You just make it better every week.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that. I think it's just I've become more and more. I don't know, a bit more of a
adept.
Yeah,
with,
it's like, I want to make it look like something you would actually see in a mainstream, piece of content. I think that's what I want it to look like. That way, I feel like it'd be more engaging to students. But maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot. Maybe it's becoming professional looking, and students are just looking past it because they don't think it's about the department for them.
because it's so pro, it's beyond.
Maybe self burn there with the newsletter. But anyway,
we progress.
on the newsletter, there's a couple of things that's worth mentioning. The photography show. So you guys have been. I've never been, but I'd want to go.
Me and Will have been.
14th to 17th of March. It's actually going to be on the newsletter for a couple of weeks leading up to the event. Reason being, I want you guys to tell me why. Why would I put that on there for 3 weeks?
You get to play with a lot of new kit.
And
It's very fun.
I
had fun with my friend.
Yeah, I mean it's a nice day out for it's a nice day out.
We got free stuff. We got, what was it? Free lanyards, pens.
Oh yeah, we got loads.
all sorts of bits and bobs. I held in my hand a lens worth about 15 grand.
Wow.
And you could literally zoom into some bloke like halfway down the hall. And you're like, I can see what's on the back of your t-shirt. This is a bit weird, but I love this lens. How much? Oh, I'm going to leave that here.
Yeah. You could arguably say it's like a baptism of the spectrum
Yes.
of camera tech that is around in a small...
I'd say if you haven't made your camera alliance yet, that's the place to kind of choose your choose your side, because you
Absolutely.
can just get hands on, play with everything, look at the menus, try out some lenses, and eventually, hopefully you might walk away with one. That was the first time. The main reason we went is because it was the first time they were demonstrating the A73 in the UK.
Before you
wow.
bought it.
Before I bought it, so went there, picked up the little user guide and all that sort of stuff, and got to play with it. There's some guy doing BMX tricks on the Sony stand. So just got to try to do some autofocus stuff. Blew my mind. I was like, cool. I'm saving up. Eventually pulled the trigger about a year and a half ago now.
You should do a judgment of the salespeople. You should say to them each time, I'm here to cement my brand alliance. What's your pitch?
Sell me
that'd be
this
great.
pen.
Yeah,
And then just rate them at the
That'd
end
be
of
really
the day
cool.
and put it on a blog. That'd be cool.
You bumped into some YouTube famouses.
Yeah,
Or
on the way out,
or semi-famouses.
Yeah.
In the camera world. So you might spot someone you follow and subscribe
Yeah,
to.
I think the other cool thing there is that you get a lot of good deals
Yes.
compared to stores and things, and also there's a lot of mini pop-up stores that you wouldn't see online or anything that just sell funky camera equipment. Some of it might be really useful to you. Maybe look at that and be like, oh, I do a lot of that sort of photography.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Even if it's not something you want to attend this year, it might be something to keep an eye on your radar.
Yes.
And if you intend on making a big camera purchase and you're not sure when and you don't really have a time frame, maybe put a little bit away each week or each month. So when it comes around to the 2021 show, as Will said, you may walk out with a few goodies if you've got yourself a little shopping budget, which might be a good idea. I think it's 6 months, new Media Mag comes out. Might be 3 months, might be 6 months, not sure. What is Media Mag, you probably are asking me.
What is Steve? What's Media Mag?
Yeah, man, what's in it?
Basically, it's a combination of, imagine, your Empire, I think it's NME is another one.
Yep.
All of them kind of collaboratively put together, but I think it's made in the industry for young people who are in education, I want to kind of say. So it features actually really interesting stuff, articles from professionals, opportunities are here and there. It's everything that's kind of in the pop culture of our industry across film, TV, photography, journalism, all that kind of stuff. And it's 70 odd pages. You'll see on the newsletter, it's the one with Joaquin Phoenix is on the front cover of it. I do believe there's a spotlight with him in it, which is why he's on the front cover. But I could be wrong. But I've read some really interesting articles. A lot of the time, there's articles in there of people that are in students' positions, telling their story a couple of years on about how they got to where they are. So if you're looking for some interesting read or a bit of inspiration, or you just want to get some news on our industry up here in media and film, it's a good one to check out. Good thing about it as well, you don't have to pay a membership, because we have a department login where you can download the PDF magazine to read in your own time. That is on this week's newsletter, so do go and check it out. I'm only saying this because this isn't an internal podcast. It does go out to the masses. So yeah, if you want to check that out, go and have a look at the newsletter, because it will have the login details there, and you can have a little look. So that's really good. That's pretty much my department news. However,
Dun dun dun.
to close out my department news, I need to pass over to Mr. Will Devereux.
Oh, I'm delivering the announcement.
You are delivering your own announcement. Well, would you like an appropriate backing
Yeah,
bed?
go on then. Yeah, I thought it might be that
Oh
one.
God.
Well, it is with.
It's more of a celebration, to be fair, because it's not exactly. It's a bad thing.
We're
Wait,
celebrating him leaving.
No.
Yeah,
you just
oh
spoiled it.
God, no!
God.
Spoilers.
I was gonna say, it doesn't have to be all that sad. It's going on to bigger and better things. Why is, as Bale said, that you're leaving? What's going on?
Well, yeah. So here's the deal. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time at the college as a student, as a member of staff. It's all been amazing. I think it sums up to about 6 years now. And an opportunity came up for me that I couldn't really refuse. I went for it, and luckily got the position.
It was an interesting one, wasn't it, Will? Because you can tell what it is in a minute. Will literally was like, I'll apply for it, but there's some special people applying for this role. I'm not sure I'll get it. I remember you saying word for word. You were nervous for a long time. What are you going to do? Yeah,
so I'm going to be a technical tutor at UCA in Farnham. So I'll be working there full time. So if anybody's going this year or planning on going to UCA, you're probably and doing a film course, 99% you're probably going to be taught by me, learning how to do Premiere and After Effects again.
Nice. That's obviously at a higher level, I assume.
Yes, yeah.
There was just a
That was
combination
a
of happy and
combination.
sad noises. I didn't know where to pitch it because it's both happy and sad.
Well, we've got some big news to go on top of it, and that's
Big news.
the fact that taking my position is somebody in this very room, and that's Mr. Steve Cale.
Oh yeah, it is actually. Yeah.
And that's official. So Steve
Yeah.
will be taking over my role as senior media technician.
Big metaphorical shoes to fill because we have the same shoe size.
Like that.
Nice.
He'll be taking over F6 Productions. So if you're interested in that and next year, Steve's the one to start talking to and getting your name out there. We've got some pretty big clients lined up.
You gave me a hand pretty much doing all of next year's plan. Didn't
Yeah,
you?
I mean, that's kind of all there and ready to go. So that's exciting. Really exciting.
Very much so. What we want to do, even though he hasn't, even started his new job yet, is we want to get him back for workshops and talks and whatnot.
Yeah.
So look forward to that, which would be quite good. You have to wear a visitor's lanyard, but you probably get to rock some UCA merch.
Oh
Pretty
yeah,
cool.
who knows?
I
We'll have to
want
see.
free stuff. That's all
See what
you're
I
here
can
for
do.
now.
Free things.
Free things. Give us free things.
So yeah, congratulations, dude, from all of us.
Thank you.
All of us in the department.
Looking forward to it.
It's a bittersweet moment,
Yeah.
isn't it? We all kind of said.
I
from
don't
both
know if I can
perspectives.
play
Yeah.
best and worst day at the same time.
Give
I
it a
think-
go.
He's done it.
I can't synchronise them any better.
Oh, no, that was good.
I think it
That was
sounded
good.
better like that.
Nice.
So my last day will
Um,
be on the 20th of March. So what that means for the pod and everything like that, I don't know as of yet. Who knows? Or maybe we
Well-
can do some special editions where I'll be able to phone in or something. Or
yeah.
Well,
Who knows?
we'll have to get you on as a recurring guest.
Yes.
Because tech news will not be the same.
No, that's going to be a tough one.
But yeah, it's a sad day, but a happy day
And
coming soon.
I suppose, well,
Hello.
there'll be an empty space, won't there?
Yes.
So if obviously most people are going off to university and things like that, and we are looking for someone with a bit of experience up their sleeve. But if you know someone, might be worth getting in touch with us for a full-time term time position as a technician at the college.
Yeah.
It's a great experience, and if you want to develop some skills, it's fantastic. So maybe somebody that's sort of fresh out of university that you know, or somebody that's kind of waiting to get into that sort of role, give us a shout, and we'll be happy to kind of talk to them and let them know a bit more.
Yeah, I think a bit of context for that, especially for somebody who's coming out of university, I think I'm quite confident in saying, in the time that I've spent here, which is like 1 year and 3 quarters now, I've probably learned more or cemented my knowledge more of technical skills, more so than all of university. And the reason is university, taught me the fundamentals and a lot of the theory through practical, i.e. how crews are set up, etc., script writing and whatnot. But when I came here, I had to know technical specs, what's going on inside a camera, lenses and what different lenses do what and what millimeters and all those maths and all that science and stuff. And I personally feel I'm more confident on that side now than I was coming out of university. It's really, really interesting. So for those of you out there who may think, well, I've done uni now, I'm bigger than that, I think you'll be quite surprised. I think you'll be very, very surprised. I think there's still a lot to learn. I think I'm still very much in my infancy here of constantly learning and evolving, because I think you'll get students, with both of you will agree, who will throw curveball questions at you, and you learn from that curveball question yourself, whether it being, can I put this in space and that, this and the other. And no day, I think there is very few people probably on the planet who will be able to answer a student's question without at least a couple of because of how diverse the software is. So yeah, it's a good challenge, but I feel it's more of it's a good challenge to evolve as a content creator. I was gonna say filmmaker, but it's very much more content, isn't it? With the diversity of stuff that we offer.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah,
There we go. There's the news.
that is the news. Yeah.
And the amusing musical pun I played for Will earlier was Spice Girls Goodbye, featuring the lyrics, "Goodbye, my friend." Oh,
I'm not gone to yet.
Yeah.
It's not gone quite yet.
he's not gone quite yet. We need to download his brain and steal all his After Effects knowledge.
Put it in like an archive on the media and film
Yeah.
server.
You just hear the door close like right now. He's gone.
Sklunk. Plug him into the Matrix. But yeah, it's So if you do fancy working with Steve and me, I mean, why wouldn't you? We're great. Then the application is live on the college website.
Yeah.
Under current vacancies. So yeah, like Steve said, if you think you know someone who might be up for the job, get in touch.
Yeah.
Apply. Good luck, etc. I can't remember when it closes. It'll be probably a couple of weeks from now. I
want to say it's the first week of April. I could be wrong.
Yes. I don't know. It will say on the website. All the details will be there, including all the gubbins that you need to know and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you're interested, give it a look.
Lovely.
Cool. Nice. Well, seeing as we did mention tech news earlier, Will, tech news.
Alrighty. So, in the upcoming months, we're going to have quite a lot of news coming up and regarding sort of phones, cameras, cars. But we have got a little bit on the horizon here at the moment. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was sort of electric vehicles, or EVs as they're commonly known as now. Currently, the prices for electric cars are pretty high. You know, average, I think you're looking about £30,000, and you're thinking that the reason of doing this is because of the money you're going to save in fuel. So, okay, that seems okay. That's all right so far. However, there's been a few concerning movements happening in this industry that might, start leading things on to the future where it might not seem as good as it looks. So, there's a big group, which is like BMW, Volkswagen, a lot of other them, they all kind of fall into this group, that are making a charging station for the UK and around Europe. And it's ones that will primarily charge up their cars really quickly. And we're talking serious fast, like quicker than a Tesla charger.
That's only 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is seriously quick charging. However, the prices they've put on these pumps that are primarily going to be at like sort of service stations, I think, and things. I'll give you an idea of what they look at. So to charge your car up at home, it costs about sort of 6p per kilowatt hour. Which is really cheap. It's about the third of fuel. A Tesla charger, I believe, sort of like 20 to 30p. So that's about sort of half the price of well, it's even less than that really, than a tank of fuel. However, this new group that's being started, they're charging at 65p per kilowatt hour, which actually equates to about worse than what you get out of petrol currently.
Wow.
So. And that's for the facility of other cars to use this rapid charger. So it'll be things like, maybe it might not affect us as much, but it's like businesses who have to get to a destination in a certain amount of time. They have to quick charge. They have to use one of these superchargers. If the cost of transport goes up, the cost of the goods goes up, and thus affecting the consumer. But what the thing that gets me is it's a renewable energy source now. So how come they're upping the prices so high to a point where it's more than petrol, and who's going to regulate that sort of thing? Is there going to be anyone to be like, hang on a minute, let's tone it down a bit here, or is it just going to keep going up? Is it going to get to £1, £2? Like it's a bit, considering they can find renewable energy from it. What do you guys think?
It's a tough one because obviously there is a lot of pros to electric cars,
of course, yeah.
Environmental and cost effective and renewable. I'm surprised, which is going to sound like a bit of a curveball, I'm surprised that luxury is not more expensive already, but at the same time, you got to get somebody in the door somehow. And as we've seen when I was a kid, bit of context, when I grew up, from my first, when I was born till I was 7 years old, I lived in North Devon, and opposite was a petrol station. And every time I woke up, if I looked out my window, I could always see those numbers. The lowest I ever saw was 86 for petrol. And obviously now it's at like 130.
Yeah.
And that's in like 15 years. So my mind kind of correlates to any sort of new fuel that comes in is going to follow a similar arc, just because that's the way I'm, used to seeing it. So yeah. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Because, people are going to tax things, they're going to regulate it. If everybody's eventually can afford an electric car, no one's going to essentially make any money.
Yeah,
which I get.
I think the perspective most of us have at the moment is that it's almost like going to be a cost-effective way. It's going to be cheaper than what we're living at the moment. But I think the way it's going, it's looking like it's just going to become like a replacement, essentially, which is a shame, because I think it's definitely got the potential to do that. But obviously these companies producing this stuff they don't want to lose money, do they? So it looks like that's where
then you got the other problem of the batteries having a recharge rate.
Mm.
So the amount of recharges they can have before they start to lose performance
have to be replaced, don't they?
Yeah, so either the batteries are going to have to be replaced, or you'll have to get a whole new car, and then you're then in however many years that is, depending how many battery cycles you've done. Because if you drive quite a lot of miles and you're charging up every single day, you're going to hit that rate so fast within a couple of years, maybe 3. Don't know. I don't know what the recharge rate for these batteries are. If you're only allowed 1,000 cycles, that's 3 years.
Yeah,
worth of
a
driving.
smaller scale version of that's your iPhone or your mobile phone or something.
So
after
it's
a
the
couple
same
years,
principle made big.
Do you not think that petrol fueled vehicles will do suffer the same fate? Because eventually gaskets go and filters start to rust away and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a case of you can have a car that's we got cars on the road that are still from the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, well, mine's 12 years old, and mine still runs really well. So I guess that's a good argument.
So it's a case of in the long run, you might have to service it and have cam belt changes.
But what's to say a service could not just be a battery change?
True, but I don't know how complicated a procedure that would be to rip the batteries out.
It's the bit you're paying the most money for, really, isn't
exactly,
it?
Yeah.
The rest of it's just some motors and the body.
Yeah.
It's the size of the batteries that are
that's
kind of a costly
factor.
It's an interesting one, really interesting.
And I don't think any company's made it where there's one company that's done a battery that's vertical. So it sits near the middle of the car, so engineers can get it out quite easily. So I don't know if it will get to a point where we can swap it out ourselves. But
that'll be heavy.
Yeah, most of them are sort of lined at the bottom of the car, and they're
multiple, aren't they?
I mean, it's like a bed. It's
Yeah.
across the whole bottom of the car. So with the motors on each wheel. So we'll see. Interesting.
I think the cheapest electric car I've seen is the Seat Me, which is my car, but the electric version.
Yes, it is
now.
currently.
It's about 16.5, 18, something about that.
It won car of the year because of that, didn't it? Is it what car of the year?
Yes.
So I thought it was your car, but it's the electric version.
Yeah, but basically it's my car. My car's great. But yeah, so it's a case of obviously some companies are making that leap now where they're converting obviously their small cars to run on batteries and have X amount of mileage range.
If you do just town driving, that's awesome. You get so much out of it.
Yeah, of course you would. But if let's say you're covering a large area, you've either got to drive hundreds of miles a day, and is the charge going to be enough? That's the problem you'll get is people whose jobs rely on a lot of travel or a lot of commuting.
That's where
it's going to really screw them over.
That's where the price of these superchargers going up so high, it kind of gets a bit awkward because if you take one of those smaller battery cars, you're going to be having to use the supercharger one. You don't want to wait 40 minutes before you get going again for another 20. So
because that's 40 minutes you're not being able to do your job.
And obviously, there's a lot of with a car. You normally get a decent mileage no matter what you put in the tank. Weather really affects EVs and wind, aircon, all of that stuff. Just lowers your mileage.
I think you're right. The recharge rate needs to get to the speed of how long it takes you to put
I think that'd be ideal, wouldn't it?
The liquid into the tank, which is a lot to ask, I know, but that it needs to be that equivalent eventually.
I mean, if you can get it down to 10 minutes or something, I mean, you could just have a little coffee break while you charge. Check your emails
because you'd stop less.
Yeah, I'd say 10 minutes would be amazing.
A full charge, as they've said, some of the is it the 4x4s? I think it's a Nissan Leaf, not 4x4, but the Nissan Leaf can travel I think it's 290 miles. Oh yeah, one charge.
I think that's the longest range vehicle.
Which is that's far. That's really far.
Yeah.
From my little trips here and there, I fill up around, on an average, not with money, I do about 200 miles every 100 miles a week. Yeah, that's about probably what I do on an average without traveling anywhere far. And that does me lovely. So that I wouldn't have to fill up for 3 weeks, 10 minutes every 3 weeks, more or less.
Yeah,
it's pretty impressive.
That's good.
And that means that's if I don't stop at my house where I'd have a charging point.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Which is another kind of and by that time,
I might as well charge.
Your workplace is going to have a charging point by then. Those kind of variables.
Because if it's by, what is it, 2020 something or other, or 2020, 30?
2025 now, I think it is, isn't it?
2025.
Oh, no, 2035.
2035, they want to stop the sale of all petrol cars.
Yeah.
So diesel. cars.
But no, every
All
hybrid, petrol, and diesel won't be sold.
Anymore
You can
in
still
the
get it
UK.
used and stuff, but you won't be able to buy them
Yeah.
new.
Wow.
So
Didn't
then-
know that.
so
I
then
thought it
it's-
was diesel by 2030.
So, well, it might be diesel
Interesting.
by 2030, then petrol by 2035.
Bloody hell, it's quick, isn't it?
Because then you've got the problem of everyone's infrastructure is going to have to change. What are all companies going to do? They're basically going to be like Shell, BP.
I wonder-
they're going to be like, oh, what do we do?
I don't know if it's possible. I wonder if they could do like wireless charging in the road. I don't know if that's like a thing.
This
Didn't
has
Top
triggered
Gear do
something.
something like this?
No, there was a story I read years ago where this guy had basically invented solar power or solar charging roads.
Were they like
that
hexagons?
Yeah,
I've seen
that,
this.
that could charge your car
Oh,
while
really?
also getting like powering like the lights. They were essentially like a mini LED bed underneath each thing, so you could do like lane instructions on them. You could do like the chevrons, arrows, goodness knows what else.
Wow. Oh, that sounds
But
amazing.
it was a case of, because it was like kind of made out of like recycled glass. It was like it was basically the most green thing
Right.
ever.
Wasn't
but it was
like
really pricey.
Stupid expensive.
Of course.
But
yeah.
it could charge your car. It could have all the cat's eyes, road markings,
Yeah,
everything on
completely
it, and it was all
live road.
solar powered.
Wow.
Yeah,
It was really, really
Flipping heck.
cool. I know what you.
yeah,
I wanna
yeah.
see
It was
Top-
a few years ago.
Even if they had like patches of that on motorways or something, that'd be quite cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Like
it'll be like Mario Kart. You go into like a little bit
Yeah.
of lane to charge yourself up, so it's like a really slow
it'd be
lane
like
charging.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
And then you could like pick up a banana while you're at it, maybe
Throw
a
some
shell.
shells.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, the technology exists. It's just
So-
incredibly
And
expensive.
it worked. Like the idea
It-
of charging
yeah.
your car whilst moving.
Yeah,
could
he
work.
put it on his like he put it on his like really long driveway,
Yeah.
and he proved his car's charge was going up by like 1%
Yeah.
from like the front of his drive to the end.
That's so cool.
So when would you? Which is a bit of a random question, but let's bring it home. When do you reckon? When would the college be forced to put charging points in the car park?
Oh,
What, for
there's
students or staff?
maybe both. Yeah.
I
I think-
assume you'd
well,
have to do
I
both.
think there's about maybe 3 or 4 electric vehicles in the car park at the moment. There's
Yeah,
Fully
two
electric
I've
or
seen a-
hybrids.
full electric. There's 2
Yeah.
Nissan Leafs. I know that.
It's like with stalking staff cars. Oh yeah, you've gone.
But it's a really
yeah.
interesting talking point because my thought process, the reason I brought it up, is so okay, cool, we'll hook you up with 2 charging points. If there's a member of staff who just gets in at 8:15 every day, they're just going to park in that charging point every
Yeah.
day. Like that's the interesting thing I'm kind of torn with.
And then how does work pay for it? Do they? Pay
Yeah,
for
no,
it?
I think your work
Yeah.
pays for it because
Ah.
there's like the range of it is sort of goes from free, which could be like work, or there's some community based ones.
Do you pay chili?
Yeah.
Lanyards?
lanyard pay, amazing.
Home, which is like from your socket. Then
Yeah.
a home charger, which is like a built-in one to your thing, which uses
Yeah.
a bit more energy. And then it goes to like your service station, like Tesla chargers, and then
Yeah.
there's
Interesting.
new one.
Because then also you've got to have the electrical infrastructure at your house or at your workplace to cope with shooting charge out of that kind of rate.
you can use a wall socket to charge a car, but it takes, I think
What,
it's
like 8 hours or
no,
something.
no, it's way
probably.
more. It's like you're
Is
talking about
it?
like 20 hours.
Oh my days.
Yeah, for a full charge.
113 amp fuse, just
Yeah.
screaming. Oh wow.
That's great.
That's why you can get like the boxes installed.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you buy the cars, they come like as a package. Like you
Yeah.
get one installed for you.
Oh,
But then
that'll wreck you for use.
I think we could talk about this for ages, but then
Yeah.
my only thought with that is, well, I think it's the perfect opportunity. Weird flex, but okay. I'm finally moving into a flat, which is great. What if I was, at this new place? Yay! And
Tiny chair.
I was lucky enough to buy a Tesla. Oh my god, I got a Tesla, right? And then
Steve,
look,
new flat,
yeah,
new
yeah,
Tesla.
yeah. But I
Look
don't-
at that.
Clarification, I don't.
He's cashing in that senior bonus.
Yeah. Wait, where's my Tesla?
You're leaving.
Okay, wait, let him go. Let him go.
And you say I owned this flat. I don't, but say you own this flat. You buy a Tesla. You get the charging point installed. Good stuff. 6 months down the line, I'm moving house. What happens to that charging point?
I don't know. Does it get uninstalled and taken with you?
I'm pretty. Doesn't it into the ground? Isn't that what's
It's normally like on a wall.
Oh,
like the side of your house. I've seen them.
okay.
But then there will be a cable going into the
Yeah,
going
it'll
into
be
a
wired up.
feed of some sort.
Yeah.
I think it's just there, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. I like.
Yeah.
There's so many interesting talking points about it. I feel like
There's a lot of infrastructure to think about.
it's exciting because
I like the idea of having like a little petrol station at home, though. You just like little.
It would just put them
Charged
out of
up.
business, wouldn't
You could charge other people to charge at your house. Be like, oh mate, that'll be a tenner.
Interesting.
Yeah, you want to charge up your car for 10 minutes? Tenner, done, nice.
But it would though. Like if you were in the middle of nowhere and
You'd
you
have
were,
like black market charging stations.
well, that's it. I mean, if you were in the middle of nowhere and you were like, I've got 5 miles left, you'd have to pull into a state and knock on someone's door.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just be like, I've got
It's
no
a fiver,
charge.
mate.
Yeah, can I please charge my
Yeah.
car for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Please help.
Oh.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, what I forgot to say. So these people are charging a lot now. Before they had a scheme where it was £8 per charge.
That sounds
So
great.
so no matter how much you charged up, it was just a flat £8. So you could do a little top up, or you could do a whole tank. But they've obviously seen that you could probably make a hell of a lot more money to do it the other way. So now they've gone. This guy did a video on it, and filling up a tank, £8. He filled up it. I think it was a Leaf, the long range one, and it came to like £56 on that other
Wow.
one. Yeah, so it was
That's
Wow.
crazy.
yeah.
That's about the same as like a diesel tank of fuel.
Well, yeah, yes,
Really?
yeah.
On average, for context, I drive the most generic car in the UK, a Ford Fiesta. So, and if I spend about £40-45, I get 350 plus miles.
Mm.
If you said to someone like me who is a sucker for a bargain, and you're like, I'll give you 300 miles for £8. Oh my god, that's great!
That's great, isn't it?
That's amazing.
That's what we want.
Yeah,
From
Yeah.
EVs, like, yeah, that makes sense.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
I would put pennies in the bank, get myself a
'Cause
Tesla.
it would
Wouldn't be a
it
Tesla.
would encourage people to charge at home more rather than go to these charging stations. Surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like if
Yeah.
you haven't got a choice, then you haven't got a choice. If
Exactly.
you're going up to Scotland, you're not going to
Yeah.
be able to charge at home, are you? So
Yeah, very true.
well,
Sure.
yeah. Well, that's a
Oh,
Should we
yes,
move
I'll-
on?
yeah.
Yes,
that was
I'll
blimey.
find my mate Barry in Lincoln who can charge up my car for me.
Let's
God.
Let's move on.
Let's
Let's
add a
move on.
segment to this when it develops soon.
Yes. Well, we'll get Will back in.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
by then he would have.
He can
Been
come in
like-
his Tesla.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll give you
all right,
mine.
all right,
Nice.
yeah.
We'll do it from the Tesla.
Oh, dear.
Right. Well, carry on.
Right,
what
moving
other
on.
tech news have
So,
we got?
new camera out, Fujifilm X-T4. They've put IBIS in this mid-range APS-C camera, 4K 60, I believe it's doing now. Bigger battery, bigger grip, flip-out tilty screen. A lot of people are loving it. A lot. It's getting a lot of attention. We're still waiting for Sony to announce something, talk about something. They kind
Do
of
something.
they had a patent for a new sensor or something go out, but who knows? Maybe in the next month or two we might see something appear. I'm still very, very happy with my A7 III. I don't think I could see myself sort of getting rid of it anytime soon. So
Nice.
that's out. We've got the PS5 website gone live, and it just has a big old coming soon on the front. Black and silver is kind of like the look of it at the moment, but people have kind of shown renders. There's been like dev kits leaked. It looks a bit funky. It's like a U shape.
Ooh.
Are you aware of the issue they're having at the moment?
No, what's that?
So at the moment they are struggling to settle on a price. So a lot of the time, on a
okay.
typical average, how much would you pay for a new release
I
console?
can't look at
Probably
like
about
300,
350.
350,
Yeah.
400 at top end.
Yeah.
Apparently they're costing. This could be dollars, but it's around 350 to 380. The dollars, pounds, or euros, I'm not sure.
It's all
I
about
read
the
this.
same now.
So,
Anyway.
to produce the machine. So they're going to have to essentially
Ah.
sell it for slightly more to get a profit. Apparently, they had this similar issue with the PlayStation 3, which is why it was so expensive on launch. And the argument is that's why the Xbox 360 beat it. But that's because it was so expensive to produce
Yeah.
that yes, they're only going to make $20 profit. But that's apparently they're having the same issue this time. The parts are so expensive to make and to manufacture that they may. They're worried it's going to be like 449 or 479, which is just a little bit.
It's going to
too
price
much.
them out, isn't it?
The thing
Yeah.
is, right, the spec they're saying you're getting for it, that's still good, but
yeah.
but to the kid at home that's playing his games and stuff,
It's like, Mum,
doesn't
Dad,
really
can I have
matter
a
what the spec
PS5?
is. If it's
Yeah.
£500 to your parents, they're gonna be like, oof,
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah,
I'm
That's-
going to get
That's
you a
it.
Switch.
That's-
yeah,
that's-
here's a £200 Switch.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
apparently the issue at the moment, which is why
Oh,
they're
that's a
causing
tough
a lot
one.
of problems.
That is a tough one.
But yeah, I didn't know they were that expensive to make, but apparently they are. They are
Damn.
near enough.
I just can't believe we're reaching the next generation of consoles already.
I know, this is ridiculous.
Well, even the PS4 Pro was like a huge step. That was
Yep.
it had so much more power. So
4K?
who knows what this is going to be able to do.
Damn.
I think it's got, like we said, ray tracing and stuff, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So that's quite cool. What's this one about Ofcom? What
So
have you seen
obviously 5G cometh
Yes.
slowly and surely. So obviously everyone's been saying about the potential health hazards with 5G.
Yes, like long-term health
frequencies,
hazards and stuff. Yeah.
However, Ofcom, obviously the Office of Communications, have deemed 5G to be safe. So
And what, fully safe or?
that's all it
Just
said in the
says
article.
safe.
It said safe, as in it won't damage your brain. So apparently 5G is fine. Although there are still lobbyists out there going, no, 5G is going to damage our children and damage our brains. But it's basically because 5G runs at an even higher frequency than 4G does.
Yeah.
Which means it can permeate things easier.
Oh yeah. So you
which
should get
means
signal indoors. A bit better.
You should get as in permeate like soft matter,
Yeah.
like skin. Buildings though, as if you watch an MKBHD video where it kind of goes round the corner of a building and the 5G signal dies. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to have a lot of 5G receptors everywhere to sort of cover where you want to go.
Feels like only yesterday 4G came out.
I know, it's getting stupid. And like 5G is like 10 times faster than 4G.
Really?
Yeah,
it's
it's
so
ridiculous.
quick, yeah.
It's like
Kevin
faster
Bacon's
than
advert.
it's faster than Kevin Bacon's.
I remember his 4G
checkbook.
adverts in the cinema when, like, not long ago,
I'm
when
Kevin Bacon.
when they became EE and they were
Yeah.
like, get your new 4G contracts. It's just
You're
like,
like, wow.
I don't know.
It's going to go to like XG, isn't it?
Oh god, 6G.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Okay, that's good to know.
5G's coming, but I think it's going to be a very slow, long rollout for it.
Rightio.
Personally,
Right, yeah. Well, you went on a bit of a tangent there with the EVs, but
we did.
it was quite an enjoyable debate.
There's nothing wrong with a good tangent.
Absolutely not. So we're going to whack it over to
Track of the week. Nice. So, track of the week this week. Again, I did the usual thing of I've listened to loads of songs over
of
the
course.
half term and got on now a list in my head of, oh god, these are all the songs.
What have
I'm
you
gonna
gone
pick
for? Tell me.
So I've gone for a artist called Elle Divine. She doesn't have that many subscribers. I seem to be on this like route at the moment of picking quite low end
Ones to
people.
watch.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
nice. That's
Yeah,
good.
no, nice. I feel like I'm on the pulse of society. So this is a track called "Boring People." Obviously, things we're not. And it's a really upbeat. It's literally 2.5 minutes. Really nice upbeat kind of indie song. Female artist called Elle Divine. I don't know what her real name actually is. It might be that. I don't know. But no, it's a really nice upbeat poppy. Kind of feels quite summery, springish. So it's kind of obviously trying to detract you from the cold winter that's outside. So hopefully it's quite a nice song to warm you up.
Cool.
But I would recommend. She's also got quite a lot of other tracks on her YouTube page, which have really, really little amount of views, but they're really damn good. So I recommend you hunt down all of Elle Divine's tracks, and that'll be on the Where's My Kit Bag Spotify playlist, which now has a picture and a proper name on Spotify. Hooray.
Perfect.
So you can find it hopefully a little bit easier. So yeah, but all those links will be down in the description below. Well, there you go. Give it a
Lovely.
listen. It's great. But that's my opinion, and my opinion is usually right. Yes,
Agreed.
very, very biased. Shall we move on to what's going to probably be a very bumper what have we been watching?
Let's do it.
So, do we want to start with a thing we've all watched together?
Shall we
And then go from there.
do quick fire
Yeah, and then
ratings
wrap it up
and then
with-
wrap it up with
All
that
right.
at the end?
All right, Dev,
Cool.
you're first on the list.
All
What
right.
have you been watching?
Let's go. Netflix show Love is Blind. Essentially, I believe it's like 30 men, 30 women arrive at this area where the only way they can communicate each other is basically through a wall. They can't see each other. They never see each other. And they have to get to know each other, what they like and dislike about different people. And they can basically speed date until they find someone they want to spend more time with. And they can choose how long they want to spend with them. And what the program is a project to try and see is love blind. So there's no, so they're going by, they only talk, they only communicate through voice. They have no idea what the other person looks like, race, ethnicity, religion, anything like that. They can't talk about. They have no social media, no phones for this process.
Oh wow!
And then after 2 weeks, I believe it is, they have the choice of proposing to if they find a person.
Wow.
So not even asking them out, not even like, should we go for a date or something.
Straight to marriage. Straight to engagement.
It is straight to engagement. And if they choose to do that, then they can see their partner for the first time, their fiancé. And then the sort of the second half is they get a pre-honeymoon, see how they deal with things sort of like being together in the same room. And and then after that they go back home, they get their phones, and they have to start telling all their family members, this is happening. It's been really interesting, actually.
What happened? Has it happened where they've seen the person and gone, oh,
I'm not going to say anything.
oh,
I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, what do they do? Do they
That's
just be
it.
like,
It's,
oh, I'm stuck
it's
now.
really interesting because
Elope.
there might be, well, there's, it's not a spoiler or anything, but there might be times where you can talk to someone on the phone, and when you see them in real life, you're like, oh, I pictured you differently,
Yeah.
So maybe there might be some of that at play. There might be some real connections, but I think the big difference here is when you do see interactions, because obviously there wouldn't be a series if nobody decided to go with that route. When you do see interactions, it's so genuine. You can tell they actually have feelings for each other. But it's really interesting. The final episodes are out today, I believe.
Ooh.
So each one's about an hour long. But just a warning, do not watch the trailer and do not watch these sort of like next episode bits at the end of that things, because they ruin so much. As soon as it comes up, click off, go to the next one. Really interesting. Haven't finished yet, so I won't review it, but watch that. Highly recommend.
One series or two?
Just one for now.
Just one. Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
So it just drops.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've just I know you're going to go on to your next one,
Yeah.
but I've watched the first episode. Thought it was really, really interesting. Very interesting concept. But yeah, I echo what you say. All of a sudden, at the end of the episode, it says coming up this season, and it, in my opinion, it spoils loads of stuff because they establish storylines which are really interesting, and I can only assume the way they set up to excite people for the rest of the season completely spoils the whole first episode, which is a bit annoying.
Yeah.
So yeah, follow Will's advice. As soon as it comes up, what's coming up this season, just hit next episode.
Yeah.
It's so silly.
What would you do? Give it out of 10 thus far from what you've seen?
That's a tough one.
Ooh.
I'll wait. And
You're
see.
going to wait. You're going to wait.
Yeah,
All
I think
right.
it's
next week.
big.
Next week we'll find
big
out.
finale
It
might top it off.
Crescendo.
Yeah, it parallels like your trash TV for Love Island from my personal perspective of the first episode, which is interesting because it's just.
Does each episode look at a different couple, or is it look at loads of people at once?
Not really. It looks sometimes, but is it
Oh, it
not
kind of
specifically? It
flip-flops.
does kind of flip flop.
Okay.
But they introduce it with like loads of people, and then you realise very soon it's only focusing on a select few, because obviously that's the ones it's worked with essentially. So
okay.
or maybe it doesn't work, but they've had the best conversations. So yeah, really interesting. Watch that. Second one, Parasite. Saw it in the cinema finally in Birmingham. Amazing. Loved it. Really, really enjoyed it. Go and watch it. Not much else to say. It's won all its awards for a reason. And then I'll leave the next one till later. Steve.
Yeah, cool.
Still.
Obviously, I mentioned I've not watched much from me being ill. I kind of just hibernated, played a video game, was chilling. So I didn't actually watch much TV. Primarily because I watched most of the stuff with my girlfriend. We have a big old list. And because I wasn't seeing her because I didn't want to infect her with my plague.
No plague
I watched.
for you.
We watched the rest of season 3 of Prison Break. I'm not going to spoil any Prison Break. I'm not seeing this decline. People are saying I'm still really enjoying it.
Nice, cool.
I really like the idea.
Maybe taking a break from it was probably a good idea.
Maybe
I just did it. I did it all.
Yeah, so
and it was like I think I burnt myself out on it, to be honest. So.
No, I'm enjoying. I think season 4's just we're 2 episodes into season 4. It's a new kind of concept I think they're going with, which is interesting. But as you say, I like it. I like the way it's going. It'd be annoying if they repeated the same formula. And for those who've seen it, they'll understand. But I don't think they're doing that, which would be quite interesting. I want to see these characters. Again, not spoiling which characters, but I want to see some of the characters that are in it tested in different ways, which I'm actually quite looking forward to. And then the other one's the one. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Nice.
You have a long list there, Bale.
Like Steve, I've been ill. So instead of like Steve playing games, I watched films.
Go.
And I watched a lot of films. When I was on the C-Tech trip up in Manchester, which probably gave me the plague, I watched Parasite in a cinema. It's one of the best films I've seen. It's great. 10 out of 10. Go watch it. Do not watch any trailers. Do not look at any posters. Just go in and watch it.
Yeah.
That is the only advice I will ever give. Then I watched. Then the quality of my films decreases rapidly.
Let's go.
So I watched the second Jumanji 2: The Next Level. It was okay, not as good as the first one.
Damn.
People said it was awesome.
I was really hoping it'd be good.
I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as the first one. I thought the first one was better.
Okay.
But I still give it 7 out of 10.
I've yet
a
to see
solid
that,
score.
but
A film called Jexy on Netflix.
Interesting.
Weird one. Essentially, the concept is this guy gets a phone. He agrees to loads of terms and conditions. The phone's got like a Siri-style voice in it called Jexy. And then Jexy takes over his life. Basically swears at him, calls him loads every name
Is
under
that
the
not
sun.
just her?
I was just thinking that, yeah.
It's a little bit like her, but it's more aggressive. And through a phone. And it's basically trying to ruin this guy's life. But also trying to improve it at the same time. Bit odd, 6. I kind of like the idea, but 6 out of 10. And Men in Black International, it's all right, 6. No, I mean, for Men in Black, for me, it's Will Smith.
Is that the
or
newer
bust.
one?
Yes, it's
Oh,
the
I've
latest
seen that.
one
I've seen that.
with Hemsworth and also the other star from Thor
Yeah,
Ragnarok.
and Helen Mirren's in it.
Yes,
Yeah.
Helen Mirren is in it. Bit odd. But yeah, for me, Men in Black was Will Smith.
Yeah.
Back in Men in Black and Men in Black 2. Those were quality. This 6 out of 10 at a push. That really depressingly, I don't know why, but I put myself through Charlie's Angels.
Well, the new one.
Yeah.
I thought it was alright. I'd give
was-
it better than what you gave
I
it.
I saw everything coming. I thought it was a little
Yeah,
bit
oh, yeah,
generic.
yeah.
I thought I've never seen Kristen Stewart smile so much. Like the twist was kind of like, oh,
I predicted that within
Yes.
10 seconds
Yes.
of the film
this
starting.
is what's happening now. It's got Lord King Sir Patrick Stewart in it, who's all right, I guess. I wouldn't say it's his finest work. 5, maybe 6 if I wasn't so ill. Terminator Dark Fate, I was surprised by how okay it was.
I haven't seen that.
It's obviously the most recent one, which features Arnold back in it. So yeah, it's much better than Genesis all day long. Not as in Phil Collins' bands, as in Terminator Genesis, as Ross would put it. So Terminator Dark Fate, better than Genesis, not as good as the originals, probably a 7. I feel is quite good. And obviously after we watched the film we're about to talk about, I went back to watch the other film that's very similar to it, Detective Pikachu, as a rewatch. Still an 8 out of 10 for me. I was still satisfied. After seeing it in the cinema a long time ago. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been watching. There's probably something I've missed that I've forgotten about
That's
in
cool.
like
I think
Ill
I'm
Plague.
the same,
But then comes the film we've all seen at the same time. We gotta go faster.
Gotta go fast.
It's top of box office still.
It is
Smashing
indeed.
it.
It is the good old Sonic the Hedgehog.
I can't believe it's doing so well. I didn't think that the audience would be there for it, but
The audience of people that I know have always said it's rubbish and trash, and it's like I kind of loved it for what it was.
I quite liked it. Yeah, I give it fairly decent praise for me.
If you take it really seriously, then it's not
is,
great.
yeah.
But for a Sonic film, I laughed a lot.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
a lot.
it was good value fun for me. I thought the characters were fun. The kind of humor
let's go
was
through
there
that. Let's go through the
throughout.
characters. So let's go through his buddy, the human buddy.
Donut Lord.
Yeah, Donut Lord.
Donut Lord.
Yeah.
I mean,
How do we rate
I-
him as a sort of? He's basically our protagonist, isn't he? Really?
Yeah, pretty much. So you've got this kind of this guy who's a police officer trying to get out of this like deadbeat town because all he's doing is saving cats in trees. And he's trying to become a real cop in San Francisco. Gets
I
a
thought
job.
it's a pretty solid
Yeah,
performance from him.
I think he played the role well. I cannot remember his name for the life of me. It's really going to bug me. But I've seen him in other stuff. I thought he was quite funny.
Mm-hmm.
Donut Lord, yes.
Okay, Eggman.
Eggman, Jim Carrey, legend, love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, all day.
How do you think he took the role?
I couldn't think of a better actor to do that role.
He did very well, but those in the gaming community will be able to relate to this. From the second I saw his face and the way he spoke, he reminded me of the gaming streamer Dr. Disrespect, and I could not unsee that for the whole film. I loved it for that reason, but I think it's because I think Dr. Disrespect is probably one of the coolest things of our generation.
I don't think he has the stomach literally of Dr. Eggman, but I feel he played the kind of like anarchist that Dr. Eggman is.
Yep.
I thought Jim Carrey, yes,
He was great.
quality choice
Really,
for that
good.
role. What do you think, Will?
I think he took a little bit of the believability out of it. Like weirdly, I believed more in Sonic than I did him. So like I don't know, his character made me feel a bit more like, oh, this is a bit of fun sort of thing where
Especially the way that the military allowed him to speak to them. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
It was all just little bits like that. It was I understand his character, but they didn't they didn't really spend enough time kind of giving him the power to do that sort of stuff. They're kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, we'll call him in. But you don't really
Yeah.
have any idea who he is, really.
No.
Just some smart guy.
If Sheldon Cooper became an antagonist, it would be Dr.
There you go. Nice.
Also, good amount of facial hair.
And then Sonic. How do we happy with the remade Sonic?
Obviously, if it would have been the original Sonic,
Oh, God.
absolute vomit and kill. I think Steve, you noticed it best. The kind of, we kind of read it as a slight nod to the original drawing, where obviously one of the the Donut Lord's wife's. Wait, no, not cousin. That's the wrong
Sister,
one.
wasn't it?
No, sister's daughter, niece.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
one I'm looking for. Obviously, drew a really crap-looking Sonic, and I turned around to Steve, and we both just laughed.
No, it was the
Wait.
guy, the
I
town.
thought it was that bit.
It was the town lunatic where they drew the meme photo.
Oh, what, the Blue Devil?
No, it was him.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it was him.
He's like, I knew you were real.
But yeah, I think after the redraw, and I actually made Sonic look like Sonic. I thought it was whatever poor animators and CGI artists had to rebuild Sonic did an absolute incredible job.
My only
I think.
criticism is
Yes.
I really wanted there to be a tiny little moment where that he ran into like a mirror, like he ran into something and he became the old like
Sonic
They
had
could've
shook
done
itself.
that. They
shook
the
it out.
hated
Yeah.
model, and then like, do you know in cartoons where they shake and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
their clothes and stuff are back to normal? I really wanted
Could have been
something
done.
like
Could have
that,
been done.
just for a second, just to have a little joke about the old
It
model.
would be amazing.
Or they like he there's a scene in a bar and he has a drink and he looks in a mirror and it's the model that
It's
no one
"Wah!"
liked.
and he
And
just
he goes,
like
yeah, he gets
screams.
scared. Just I really wanted that, and I kind of got it with the drawing because that was a jokey meme.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to see the old.
I love that old dude,
model.
man. He was
I really
great.
wanted
He was
that.
one of the best
Yeah,
characters.
he
I
just
think.
comes in with that like chainsaw, doesn't he? He's like,
let's take that off you now.
yeah.
But
It was good.
It
Enjoyable.
was fun. I enjoyed it. It's nothing serious.
No.
And it's a funny.
Yeah,
It was a kids film. It was definitely a kids film.
You go in with an open mind and a mind to have some fun. I mean, for me, I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10
I'm
for
with you
fun
on-
factor.
Yeah, I'm with you on an 8. Yeah.
Will?
For me, it was like a 6.5.
Oh,
Personally,
oh,
but just
God,
it's
that's
just-
savage.
I think Detective Pikachu did a way better job at
I-
catering
yeah.
catering for audiences, the plot.
I've not seen it, so I couldn't compare.
it's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
I-
It's surprisingly good.
I think if I hadn't seen Detective Pikachu and what they can do with that, I think I
Yeah.
probably would have given it higher for what it does. But I think
Yeah.
because that bar had already been set, it kind of didn't quite reach. It didn't reach the same marks as it did. I think there's a few things that detracted from it.
My
for me.
question,
Yes.
obviously, at the end, an event happens. Obviously, shall I spoil it or
No,
not?
no,
No. All right. An event happens. Obviously, potentially setting up a sequel. Thoughts on a sequel?
Oh, it'd be about the gems, won't it?
What, the Chaos Emeralds?
Yeah.
God, that's sad that I remembered that. God,
Yeah.
that's from years ago.
Oh, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
what it'd be based around, 100%.
But yes, I had a mini little hype train moment internally, going, yeah, boy.
Nice.
But yeah. Steve, hello.
So are we concluding about the film? Because I have one more thing.
Go
about
for it.
the
Go on.
experience.
Yeah.
Of course.
So in American like sports center, if you guys have heard,
Yes.
and like ESPN, they have a segment, right, and it's called "Come On, Man," right? And what it basically is where sports people do stuff that is just ludicrous, and they ask that, and the joke is like, "Come on, man!" Like somebody like going to kick a ball and they fall over it, and they go, oh, "Come on, man!"
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like a streak runs on the pitch. I had a moment like that while we're in the cinema.
Okay.
So film comes on.
Oh,
You both will know
yeah,
exactly what I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
as
yeah,
I
yeah.
begin to speak. And I'm only bringing this up. Never be this person, okay? So we all sat down, lights dim, comes up with the certificate, Sonic the Hedgehog, cool. This woman comes in and sits down. She clearly had just bought her ticket because I saw she had the View app open. So she sits down. 10 minutes into the film, the beam of light that is her phone appears. That's not the bad thing, because I appreciate, some people can't turn their phones off. Yes, put them on silent. I 100% get that. But, you may have people that rely on you. So if somebody got their phone out in the cinema just to see if they've got a message or whatever, I'm not really going to have a go at you. Like, it is what it is. As long as it doesn't go off and make any noise. I know other people have decisions, but I'm kind of a middleman. This person, for about 6 to 8 minutes,
Oh, a
I would
solid
say,
chunk of time.
I'm not going to say a full 10 minutes. It wasn't that long. Was just scrolling through Facebook. And their brightness
Wow.
felt like it was on maximum. And, like, it
you
was
can't watch. You
so
just can't.
so ludicrous. Like, never be that person. Like, it was
The
so
thing
bad.
is, she wasn't on it constantly. Otherwise, I think somebody would have said something sooner.
Someone
She
would
was
have
on
hit
it
her.
for like 10 seconds, put it away for like 10 seconds, and got it out again, and just kept going over and over.
So you're basically getting a really slow stroke.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
just
think
Facebook
eventually the
Live.
person next to her husband or
I'm not sure who. I
or
don't
whoever
think they were with them.
or not
It's
with
like,
them.
dude.
He's just like, no, you got to stop. And typically 10 seconds after that, the person comes in with a little night vision goggles to check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I could have caught her and just kicked her out.
But like, it's super frustrating because like, I personally think there's no excuse for it. But if you're going to do that, go to the back corner where you're not going to blind people. Like, I've heard other people in the department literally take zero tolerance and
Ross,
all.
yeah. Ross
It's
has
a
no
wonder.
tolerance
It's a wonder
policy.
to watch.
He
Even a
is-
whisper is
he will
Yeah.
like just attack.
So that's my come on man
nice.
moment
Man.
of,
like
of
it.
the podcast.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good segment. It's good YouTube watch of people doing come
But
on
is
man.
this
stuff.
going to be a new? Is this going to be a new feature?
I hope
Come
not.
on,
If we go
man.
to the cinema more often, no, I bloody hope not.
No, just in life. Just
Yeah.
come on, man.
Come on,
Like
man.
a student like asked the most like obvious question in the world. Like, is this media? Oh, come on.
Come
man.
on.
Teenager
man.
runs through a red light. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's like that. It's a great little bit. It's good. It's good fun.
But yeah, it's
Right.
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums up
Lovely.
the thing.
Great pod.
Do we recommend Sonic?
Yeah.
I'd
Oh
say
yeah, I
I'd
enjoyed
say
it.
so.
Not saying I didn't
100%.
enjoy it.
100%. Go and watch Sonic in the cinema. It's still out there, and all your local good cinemas would recommend, would watch again. Yeah, that pretty much finishes up the pod
Lovely.
for us. I've been James,
I'm Will.
And I'm Steve.
and yeah, tune in next week for some more poddy goodness.
Hey, it's me, Will. Just want to say thanks for listening to our Where's Our KitBag podcast. Feel free to drop us a comment about anything you want us to cover in the section below, or hit us up on Instagram/Twitter at F6 Media Film.